G'day punters, here we are for a bit of Punting Melbourne style off a bit of a sabbatical, DK. We never intended to have that long a break.
No,
but,
we didn't, it just worked out that way.
That's the way it goes.
We come back, winter's back, so we're back, mate. Winter's here, finally.
It sure is.
Nice balmy 11 degrees in Melbourne today.
Yeah, they sort of missed winter down there at Warrnambool this year, but...
Yeah, when they had was that, yeah. It's amazing weather down there. Even last week here, we had the beautiful 18, 19, 20 degree days and the warmish, mild nights. And no, definitely got the Betfair hoodie on today, mate. We busted out now, the Betfair trackie and maybe in the dressing gown and things. So,
that's it, yeah.
Need it.
You think there'll be plenty for us to talk about, given we haven't done anything for almost 6 weeks or something, I don't really know. But it all just, there's so much racing, it all just sort of flows into itself.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. One issue one week and then it's something else the next, you know. Moved Damien Flower last week and some sports bets made a massive blue on the betting on the weekend or something, some footy this week and there'll be something else next week and, you know.
Well, they made the big blue with the election, didn't they?
Oh, the election, well, how about that, you know? What? The betting, the polls.
The old fives on shot went over there.
Like it did at Brexit and Trump.
I always love seeing a fives on shot get better. I don't know why. It's entertaining. Anyway, so look, what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's happened over the past couple of months. We'll chat about Flemington, because that was an excellent meeting there on the weekend.
Exciting race, that Ramsden, wasn't it?
Yeah. That'll probably get us through part one, and then we'll in part two we're going to come back and just talk a little bit about. I've had quite a few questions about wagering type questions, and we can come back and talk about that. And we'll get into that. It's a bit of the conversation of chess versus checkers. You know, I mean, how complicated do you want to make it? And how simple do you want to keep it? You know, and the thing with those type of discussions is there's no right or wrong answer.
No.
It's really got to suit yourself. So, how have the past couple of months been for you, mate?
Quite, mate. I've been, as well, it's been a bit of a battle, because I just, as I said on that, if anyone listened to the podcast I did with Jake, I'd sort of come to the crossroads a bit with what I've been doing before, and I tried to have a look at that, get into the historical data side of things and see if I could make something out of there, but nothing really eventually. It was a lot of hard work, and wasn't really my go anyway. So just sort of gone back to doing what I was doing, but just doing it as best I can, doing the maidens. As you said, getting to know those horses better than anyone. Just pay on to every all my time and stuff into that. So sort of just going along gently, smallly, but starting to feel like hopefully that's the way forward. Just doing what I do best.
Well, it's never easy, DK. We've discussed it many times. It's I mean, I don't follow it that closely, but it seems to me that the oracles have calmed down a bit. Like from the little bit of stuff I do see, there's nothing that makes me more frustrated than hearing people talk about racing like it's easy and winning's easy.
If you've had a losing day, the one place you don't go near is Twitter.
Is that right?
Because it just makes you feel 10 times worse. Because all you see there is everyone bragging about how big it's been, and you're sitting there saying, "What a failure I am! I've had a strip out." No, so I just don't know.
So nothing's changed because I pay no attention to it. I suppose I don't really know, but I just from my perspective, this year got off to a terrific start. January was awesome. January 1 was the best meeting I've had in a long time, and since then it's just been trench warfare. It's never easy. You've got to fight for everything.
Which is, and I've had to change my philosophy that sort of way. We're a bit different the way, you know. We're different, and I used to, take pretty high risks. And I was rewarded because there's a lot of holes in the market back then. I've got to be fair. There's a lot of my big results were copping the big price and watching them crash in and being ahead of the curve. And that's all sort of changed, and particularly now with the POC tax coming in and the corporate's getting even tougher. So that's all. I've had to sort of, just got to try and back winners and back them later in the market and try and make a go of that. So I've had to be a bit of trench warfare as well. Just get in and just make sure you win on a race. Don't try and be high fly. Don't try and blast your way into it. Just win on the race. And so I've had to. It's been a change for me, Potts. But anyway, I think that's the way forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think winning consistently. And just building. It's the way to go. Just the structure of the market these days, with them being, they're trying to claw back the point of consumption tax, and even before that, and if you're too deadly, they just profile you so easily, and they just won't let you on. You know what I mean? So that leads to, things like bowls and that sort of stuff, which no one really wants to get involved in. But if you're just chipping it away at winning consistently and ducking and weaving and you're betting at a lot of corporates, it's very hard for them to do that. You know, they can place some restrictions on your account, but there's enough corporates out there that you can spread it around. So I think
but you can't get on for a shitload. Like,
no,
never going to get really, really rich at it. But you can make a living out of it but it's hard work and it's a bit, as you said, it's trench warfare.
The reality is you can't get on for a lot in the early markets, and by the time the late markets come around, the market's in very good shape. That's generally the pattern. So you just but things still happen. There's still opportunities there. You just got to find the ones where you're against the market.
Well, that's the key, and they're the good races I've sort of been collecting on. It sort of there's 3 in the market, and I don't like trying to know those odds. Well, I'm happy to be with those 2 against it. And that's basically. I sat down I had coffee with a mate who's one of the head bosses at Sportsbet, and he told me how happy they were with their early pricing, how it's improved so much, and how they put a lot of work into their auto pricing, which was, and part of that was off the old database we used to have when we used to work there, and it was a good database. So they're really happy with the work they put in and getting in there, and they monitor. They'll look at all their early markets put up, versus SP, versus results. It's all charted. So it's a lot tougher. So I respect the early markets a lot now. So I'm doing a race, I come up with the top 3 or 4 chances, my top 3 or 4, have a look at the market, similar, or they've got one there I don't like, beautiful, okay. The 2 I like, they're in their market too. So we're on the same, so they like them, they say they've got good chances, I think they've got good chances, but one there they missed or something. Well, I'm going to play here, and be with these 2 against it. And that's, I think that's, most of the races are won in the top 3 or 4 in the market, we know that.
Yeah, I think the key is, DK, if you find one that they haven't found in the early market, you've got to know why.
Yeah. And then, or if another punter hasn't found.
Yeah.
I looked a roughie last week, but you could find it, and it was the tape went first up, and an hour later it was 18 into 12. So they're still sitting there 18 and getting out to 25, and there's not a bean for them from an early punter, or the early prices didn't like them, and it's getting easy on Betfair. Well, you've made the blue. Yeah. 80% of the time, you might get one fluke getting one home, but it'll be a fluke.
Yeah, and it is interesting. I've had a couple this week that sort of fit that bill, and they weren't big bets, but they were results. I was interested in Dogmatic at Ballarat because it had gone from Godolphin to Richard Lamming.
Oh, right, yeah.
I just knew that horse, they'd never got anything out of it, and the change of stable was going to be good for that horse to go to a stable that likes training, staying type horses and different kind of riders. And I was sort of taking $13 early just in case they did back it heavily, because that stable can do that. But it ended up running $20.
Right.
It's got up in the last stride, so a bit of luck there.
Yeah.
And then yesterday at Sandown, I didn't even like the race. I had it $9 the field, but I had Gennady top pick.
Did you?
Yeah. Well,
I was going to ask you, turn that up. What? Of a 1,000-metre race?
Yeah, but it went. But I marked it $9, right? So I'm not saying I really liked it. I'm just saying it's a really nice horse. It's a nice looking horse.
It's a typical Robbie Lang Spruik horse.
Yeah,
trolls the joint down. I couldn't believe it went to 1,003, but that's almost 20 to 1. That's Robbie Lang.
When you watch that 1,000-metre win, it wasn't a lead all the way.
It took a while to round them up. It took a while to get going.
Yeah, but it only got full momentum on the line and through the line. And if you watch the run on of that race, it was really building up a head of steam. It was charging away from them, and it ran pretty good sections. Anyway, I mean,
it was 20 to 1, though.
So what I'm saying is, I didn't really even like it. I wasn't even going to bet in the race because I'd marked it $9 and the market was $11 or whatever. And then they're going to the gates. It's 25 to 1. So I've got to have.
Yeah, you got to have some. Yeah, you're right.
And it's sort of got away with it. So, and a good ride from Harry Grace, who's
that's 20 to 1. That's typical, Robbie. You get one up at 20 to 1, one of his prequels, but if those things have been always evens, and I remember Ollie rated its first start. He must have don't know what he told Ollie about it. Or he might have been riding Lord of the Sky the same week, and tried to join, ran a fast time 800. Typical Robbie Lang. Starts 5 to 2 in town and went like a busted.
Yeah.
With the short odds, you just back the truck up on those things.
The point I'm trying to make is that if you're in the game all the time and you're hanging in there, that you don't know when these opportunities are going to come up, but they do still come up.
Yep.
But it's not easy to predict them, and so you've got to. That's why it's so important to stay in play. And when we get to the chat about wagering, and I'm talking about backing more horses. That's one of the reasons why I do it. Anyway, we've gone 10 minutes here just chatting. So Flemington was a really...
How's the track?
So the track at Flemington, so I just want to say, the first thing that you've got to talk about with Flemington recently is the gift that Mick Goody left Victorian Racing with is Liam O'Keefe. He's just a fabulous track manager.
A great transition.
His feel for it, like, Liam will, the first thing Liam will tell you is how much, he
learned off Mick.
Everything he learned from Mick, but he's got such a magnificent feel for it, and he just gets that track is just racing in superb order. And full marks to Liam. He's just doing a great job. He's very careful where he puts the equipment, and he just ticks all the boxes. So it's really good stuff.
It's racing.
And we're lucky in general in Victoria. We've got great track managers. They do a terrific job.
Best in the world.
And the industry should really get behind them. We could do with less complaints from people that have got wet trackers. But
that's piped down a bit, hasn't it? I mean,
yeah, it still could happen in the background. You know what I mean? Like high-profile owners and stuff riding to Racing Victoria and tugging people's coats and stuff like that. Yeah. Trying to get things changed when, anyway. So the meeting itself, the highlight was obviously the Andrew Ramsden, which was just was a terrific event. It was a race I didn't get involved in. It's a perfect example of.
So what you would?
Well, I marked them $3 and $4, so I couldn't get them near the market.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to target one of them because if I'd backed either of them, all I would have been worried about is the other one knocking me off.
Knocking off. That's right.
And that's how it played out anyway. So I'm sort of glad I chose to go that way because I can't see how it would have been very hard to mark both of them short enough to back both of them. I suppose the teams sort of did in the end because it didn't look like a robot war where one was with one and one was with the other. It just looked like they decided they were the only two.
Yeah.
And it didn't match like.
I know,
right.
How right were they? They just came away from everyone and duelled. And of course, she just gave her all. Surprise Bubby as well. She pulled up. She was grubby after the race. She pulled up with a bit of distress, so they were walking around the man. She just gave her absolute all. Yeah,
despite the name, she's a he, but
every time
I go to write a comment, I go to write man, and I look and go, it's a guilty. But man, he is a very talented horse. He's had 7 runs, that horse. Look at what he's done in 7 runs. And you might remember the first couple better than me, but
of course
I remember backing We Take Manhattan and Sam Slick, I think it was, at Moonee Valley on a Friday night. And
I should have been on it then.
Sugar Baby having its third run or something.
Third stake. So
it sat 4 wide and just destroyed him. I thought, what happened then? Like it was up from like 1300 to 1600. That was an extraordinary.
One at 1100 first up Horsham Cup Day.
Right.
Just came round. I think one it's made or one first, whatever it was. And I remember he said after it won the Adelaide Cup at its 5th start. He said, I was ready to go 2000 on first up and won over 1100. Or not 11 or 12, but it's just, what a trainer. He's a great trainer, that bloke. What about the match made in heaven the other day?
Honestly,
you know what the match made in heaven
how about some of his horses, like, I backed Artie Lucas last week.
What about that? Beat Prebble. Yeah. If there is some dream teams going around at the moment. Yeah. Brad's teamed up with Simon Wild. I mean, just going to be grouse out in that neck of the woods. And then beat Prebble on a Prushka horse. Like, it's just heaven. Just the way he rides, it just suits those horses. And what about him? He just talented.
Bree Prebble, when he's switched on,
he's fantastic.
He's as good a rider as there is. I mean, I could point to some rides. One at Kyneton on Cracksman.
There's 2 of him.
Like he does. You need good bread, right?
Yeah.
But when his ride on Artie Lucas the other day, it was
just him. It's just seeing he gets the legs in. He's
engaged with the horse.
He's engaged with the horse.
And he knew about the 800, might have been the 1000. The horse didn't have his mind on the job. So he gave it one. He was up it. It didn't in the run. It didn't look like it was going to win, and it won by like 4 lengths hard held.
I copped the short odds Heavenly Emperor there, at second up at Bendigo the other day. And it was a slow tempo, and he sort of settled off him, but he was entitled to win. Brett said after the race he was entitled to shit. Actually, it was a bit disappointing that it was. He was thought he'd shit him. But he got busy on him at he's given him a cut with the whip at the 450.
Yeah.
So wake up, we're not just trying to put him through his gears like other would and get him balanced up. He got into him, and that was the difference. He finally took a wild in his top gear and put away a moderate lot, but another jockey might have got beat on it,
Definitely. If you've got a lazy horse, he's your man.
Yeah, he said, it's a 7-start maiden, so that may be why 7-start maidens and maybe have a chink. And he said, he just the way, just thank God he got up it, when he did. And,
he's a lot like Noel, when Noel's in good form, they're terrific jockeys. Yeah. So on that exact subject, I had a pretty solid day there at Flemington. It was a winning day, but it was marginal. What would have made it a terrific day was I backed both Odeon and Dr. Drill starting Friday at absolute top odds. I was on both of those horses for plenty at the top of the market.
Was it the race B Prebble one?
And Odeon did everything you can imagine. Craig did everything to get it home, and B Prebble just got spun Largo home. Like, honestly, what a ride. I remember sparring on back when he won his maiden spun Largo. He was trained here, and then he went up to that Stubbs or something after that. But he's a wonderfully honest horse up in that neck of the woods. And then again, the job probably a jockey change. He's been someone from the border been swinging off it, and then all of a sudden it goes NCK or someone's been riding it. Yeah, I can't remember. Blake McDougall.
Yeah,
he dropped the whip when Dark Eyes booted it. Manny Dale's horse who booted it at Flemington last start, or 2 starts run back. So I think Archie had that horse for a while, because I think the guy that had it worked for Archie.
It's Greg Baker. You're right.
Greg Baker.
Yeah, it's got point of laws and all that. Yeah.
So that now it ends up with what's his name? Ron Stubbs.
Ron Stubbs.
There you go. I don't know much about Ron Stubbs, but he's actually bobbing up a bit at the moment. He's got a couple of horses that are bobbing up.
No, but Prebble, that's always the jockey's got the horse to go, as we used to say, OAS. That's. I just notice I'm just wary when I'm ploughing the one, and I've got the others covered in the form. So I've got, I might be to say, you've got these, you've got your 2, you've got the next 3 or 4 picks in the market. I've got them covered. The whale and the base, the jock change, the good jock, somewhere in the good jock change. I took short odds one again at Maui last week. It's me, my new go, taking short odds, which I used to hate anyway. It was supposed to be a moral, and I had all these things covered. And then Jay Allen was down there on a Tuesday at Maui on this thing that sort of faced the breeze and raced too keen last start. So anyway, ours was kicked 2 in front on the turn, home you go, and it stopped. And out whooshka, Jay Allen, only missed by that far in the end.
Right.
So I went back and did the video replay the other day, and we got lucky.
Yeah.
So he's completely changed tack on it. He's ridden it quite, put it to sleep on the fence, got held up for 100 metres, thankfully, got at the outside and let it rip. So that was the whale. The good jock down here in the 4th, 5th, 6th picks.
Yeah.
Because he got a thing that got beat 10 links to nearly win, and that's what you've got to be careful of. That the good jocks down and those other, they can get them to go.
Definitely, absolutely. What else happened there at Flemington? So we had 4 straight races. I suppose it was great to see the straight in such good order. In actual fact, that when I walked it, I thought the middle was probably just the best, but then the inside half was the next best, and I think that's how it played. It wasn't great to be out wide, whereas at the previous 2 meetings, they'd had a bit of tractor traffic out wide, and there was a lane out there. So it's the work they have to do on these tracks. They can't float around. They have to put equipment on it, and it does have an impact. So, assuming it's going to be the same as the previous meetings,
with drones or anything.
And what can you say about Fadila? Gee, she's a nice filly. I mean, she's only beating other 3-year-olds, but gee, she's doing it nicely. She's only a little thing.
I remember her debut. Massive tip on debut, and she got back and just charged late. Yeah. She's always had the talent. I've always spruiked her. And just a line finder, isn't she?
Full credit to Dr. Drill would have been a terrific result for me, but I'd saved on Admiral's Joker, so it wasn't a disaster. But geez, that horse has gone. It's gone outstanding now.
Yeah, he's always had the talent.
Who rode it? Was that?
Yes, it wasn't. Was it?
Driver? Maybe not. Can't remember.
C. Parrish.
Oh, C. Parrish. That's right. Yeah, well done. Good job. So anyway, that'll do us for Flemington. Is there
anything else there in the others? Order of Command, Order of Haunted turned into one. He fight. Full credit to him, Danny O'Brien. I might have mentioned it a few months ago, but to fight back from what he's done, from all that saga he's been through, rebuild his team, and there's no more informed camp in the state than Danny O'Brien at the moment. So
every time I do a race and I haven't got his runner in the short enough, I'm like, I don't know if I want to bet in this race. Do you know what I mean? They're just too deadly at the moment. Like I couldn't get Haunted short enough, and I had Order of Command about the price. It actually got out to good odds, but I thought I don't really want to back just Order of Command. I don't want to take short odds Haunted. But the result certainly didn't surprised me.
But even there, he's been having 2-year-old winners on debut.
Yeah.
Was a good sign.
Yeah.
You know, so he's good, and so I'm winning plenty of races. So yeah, all good.
Good stuff. That'll do us for part 1.